Yo, so in this video, I'm going to be going over what I think are the top 10 best dual use champions for Battlegrounds. Dual use champions are champions that are great on both attack and defense. Perfect example is Domino, right? You draft Domino for defense. If your opponent gets a great counter to her, like Shuri or Red Skull, you just flip it round and use her on attack. Dual use champions are normally some of the best Battlegrounds champions in the game. Drafting dual use champions is a great way to outdraft your opponent because it forces your opponent to draft counters to them, and once they have wasted their draft picks on counters to these champions, you can just use those champions on attack and place a different defender. So yeah, drafting dual use champions is a great way to outdraft your opponent. They're some of the best Battlegrounds champions in the game. Quick disclaimer before I start the list, this is all from my experience playing in the Celestial tiers, the top 100 and top 10 of Battlegrounds. I'm just making this list to try and help people make better Battlegrounds rank up decisions and help people get better at Battlegrounds. Please don't get offended if your favorite champion isn't on the list. This list isn't meant to offend people, it's meant to help people. But yeah, I've already made a top 10 list for the best Battlegrounds attackers and the best Battlegrounds defenders, so if you haven't seen that, go check them out. But let's jump into it. We got Guardian at the number 10 spot. The only reason he's not higher is because he hasn't worked for 3 Battleground seasons in a row. So honestly, I was thinking about leaving him off the list. But before that, he worked for loads of Battleground seasons. He's insane on attack. Anything that can be shocked just dies in a single special 1 and special 2 with the Hulkbuster relic. It's honestly pretty insane. And he's a great defender. If your opponent does not have a way to counter auto block, they're probably going to time out. I have Guardian trapped plenty of people, and he still holds up as even a 6-star for me on defense because he stops your opponent from using their special attacks, and a lot of champions really rely on their specials. So yeah, he's a really solid, maybe somewhat underrated defender. I think people really sleep on him on defense, but if you catch your opponent without a counter for him, they're probably going to time out, and we all know he's a beast on attack, handling tricky defenders like Domino and Killmonger and killing them in a single special 1 then special 2. Yeah, great champ. Just a shame he hasn't been working for the recent Battlegrounds metas. At the number 9 spot, I'm going to be placing Nova, and it's insane to me how underrated this guy is still. He's the best Datuma counter, he's the fastest Datuma counter that can finish at 100% health. My 6-star does rank 3 7-star Datumas in 50k points. If my Nova was a 7-star, we could be looking at 52k points. He's got insane damage. He has some really nice utility with his True Strike and non-contact medium attacks. Really underrated Battlegrounds attacker, and he's also pretty annoying on defense if your opponent doesn't have a Mystic champion. You know, he can be pretty annoying. You can't parry his medium attacks, so that can slow down the match and cause you to take extra block damage. His SB1 can be kind of annoying and catch people off guard. I've seen plenty of people get clipped by his SB1. He has that annoying power gain when he dashes back and forward, so if he's stingy with his special attacks, you're looking at eating an SB3. Pretty good defender, but an even better attacker. It's crazy to me how slept on this guy is. If you don't believe me, check out my Nova showcase, check out my recent video where I took a rank 3 Atuma with my 6-star in 50k points. Great champ. At number 8, we have the Weapon Flex, and when I rank 3'd this guy, honestly, I was not expecting him to be as strong as he is. I did see TJ's video on Weapon X, so I knew he was decent, but honestly, he's so good on attack. If you can bleed your opponent, you can finish fights in 30 to 40 seconds with good crit RNG. If you don't get good crit RNG, you're looking at around a 40 to 50 second fight, which is still really fast for how good of a defender he is as well. If he doesn't clip your opponent whilst he's unblockable on defense, he's going to at the very least stall out the match with his massive regen. So yeah, Great dual use champ for Battlegrounds. Love my rank 3. Honestly, it's kind of sad that he's a pay to win champ because he is honestly really fun and really good. Hopefully, free to play players are able to get their hands on him at some point. At number 7, I have Shocker, and it's crazy that people actually rank this guy down. All the nerf did to Shocker was stop him from taking Maestro, which tech champions, they shouldn't be able to take Maestro anyway. So, I mean, does it really matter? He's still insanely versatile. There's so many fights he takes. My rank 2 unduped is doing rank 3 Onslaughts and rank 3 Dusts in 45 seconds. Most fights take a single special 1, then special 2. And then a heavy attack, which is around a 45-second fight. But if he was max sig, these would be even faster, because if he's at max sig, his first special 1 in the fight will cost 100% less power. This lets you get to your SB2 faster, of course, lets you ramp up faster. So those 45-second rank 3 onslaughts, they would turn into 35-second rank 3 onslaughts, which is insane. He's such a good attacker, really fast, really versatile, and he's a underrated defender. Like, he gets steamrolled by cosmic champions, of course, like CGR, Herc, Hulklin. But if you catch your opponent without a cosmic nuke, he can be really annoying on defense. He has a quick SB1 which can catch you off guard, and if you try to counter it, you can get parried. He goes unblockable, he can auto block. He's honestly a pretty annoying defender, and I've seen him get plenty of wins on defense. So yeah, that Shocker, crazy to me that people actually rank this guy down. At number 6, we have Photon, and Photon's not as scary as she used to be. A lot of people have figured out how to fight her, but she's still really tanky on defense thanks to all the debuffs she applies that synergizes with inequity to reduce your attack, which makes her really tanky. When she goes into her pure light form, you have to wait that out, and that takes about 10 seconds, dragging out the match, of course. So yeah, if she doesn't catch your opponent on defense, if she doesn't hit them with an unblockable, undexable SB2, she's at the very least going to stall out your opponent. And she's pretty good on attack. She's pretty underrated. She's not the fastest champion, but she can take Mystic champions really well. She can take rank 3 Sasquatches in 60 seconds, which is really impressive. We all know about Photon, really solid defender and a pretty underrated attacker. She has some really nice utility on attack as well. Like, when she gets stunned, she's going to go untouchable, so you never have to worry about getting parried, which is a super underrated piece of utility, because we all know what the AI is like nowadays. It loves to parry you. But yeah, that's Photon, well deserving of the number 6 spot. Maybe she should be a bit higher, but since people have figured out how to fight her mostly, I'm leaving her at 6 for now. Onslaught is at number 5, and this guy is very similar to Photon. A lot of people have figured out how to fight him, but even if your opponent doesn't mess up to Onslaught, he's going to take a while to get down thanks to his really long special attacks, which draws out the match. The fact you can't parry him, so you have to bait out heavy attacks or look for intercepts, which is also going to slow down the match. And the fact you get crushed, so you have to watch out for when you crush. You don't want to get hit in the face, so that's another thing you have to look out for, and another thing that's going to waste time. He's still a really solid defender, nowhere near the auto win that he used to be. Plenty of people know how to fight him now, but he still does really solid on defense, and he's a really good attacker. He's far from the fastest champion, but he handles a lot of tricky fights like Bullseye, which is a big deal because Bullseye is still a massive pain even after his nerf, still one of the best Battlegrounds defenders in game, but Onslaught makes him very easy. So yeah, really good dual use champ for Battlegrounds. I think Onslaught well deserving of the number 5 spot. He would be higher, but people have figured out how to fight him now. At number 4, I'm placing the Pig, and he's definitely more of a attacker than defender. On attack, he's insane, man. Like, he's kind of RNG reliant, but he can finish fights in 40 seconds. Rank 3 Sasquatches, which are the biggest health pool in game, in 40 seconds, which is ridiculous. He is so fast, he's so nukey, his damage is insane, and on top of that, he's a really solid defender. If you don't have a good skill nuke for him, you don't have someone that can counter evade, he's probably going to stall out the match because you have to use SB1s against this guy, which for most champions isn't ideal. And if you don't use SB1s, he's going to start evading you, he's going to start placing the poker poppers on you. So yeah, he's a really annoying defender and he's really fast on attack. He's also very versatile. No champs are immune to power sting. Well, I guess Magic is kind of immune to it, but Magic stuck as a 5-star, so too bad for her. But yeah, no one's immune to poker poppers apart from like shrug off champs and Magic, so he's very versatile. He's one of the fastest champions in game. Honestly, Pig is just insane. I really need to get myself a 7-star Pig. I would take him to rank 3 instantly. I do actually have him at rank 3 on the mini account, and yeah, I've experienced the power he is. He's just insane. At number 3, I'm placing Hulkling, and like Pig, this guy is definitely more of a attacker than defender. We all know about Hulkling. He's in literally everyone's deck. He's so strong on attack. He can finish most fights in 30 to 40 seconds. Insanely versatile. The only champions he struggles against are Mystic champions, of course, but he can still take Mystic champions as long as you do the right rotation and get some decent RNG. Yeah, we all know how OP Hulkling is on attack. On defense, he's pretty great as well. He's far from the best defender, but he still has massive regeneration, which can stall out the match. The indestructible, what can stall out the match. And you don't want to block too much against this guy, which is also going to stall out the match. So yeah, he's still a decent defender. He'd be a much better defender if he was a 7-star. That's the only thing holding him back. If he was a 7-star, he'd probably be number 1 on the list, but unfortunately he's not, and I doubt he will be anytime soon. So yeah, Hulkling, well deserving of the number 3 spot. At number 2, we have Domino, and we all know about Domino on defense. She's an absolute menace. If you don't have a good counter to her, you're going to take loads of unavoidable damage. You're going to go unlucky, which means you can't dex her special attacks, which might trip you up. She's going to go lucky, which means she's going to evade you about 100 times in a fight. Even if you're using a great counter to her, most of the time they don't counter her evade, so she can still get pretty annoying with a good counter. But yeah, we all know about Domino on defense. Absolute menace. And on attack, as a 7-star, she is much better than she ever was as a 6-star. You know, some people say with Domino it's either a 10-second fight or a 100-second fight, and I would say that's not so true as a 7-star. With the 7-star Domino, you're very likely to crit on your SB2, and you're very likely to do some insane damage. So yeah, more times than not, Domino cooks on offense now that she's a 7-star with the extra critical rating, and thanks to the Mr. Sinister relic helping her out. So yeah, Domino, I don't think she will ever not be a meta champion. She will never fall off. She's going to be here for Battlegrounds for life. At number 1, I'm placing the Sasquatch. And why am I placing Sassy? Look at this guy's health, 115k unboosted. That's crazy. There's a reason people auto draft this guy. He's so tanky. Even if you get a good counter to this guy, you're going to take a while in the fight. Most champions take at least 60 seconds against Sassy. He is the king of stalling, and he's still pretty easy to mess up to. When he goes into Wrath, he goes unstoppable, spams loads of special attacks. It gets pretty annoying. So yeah, he's one of the best defenders in game, but he's also one of the best attackers in game. He's insanely fast. Even if he doesn't crit, he finishes fights in 40 seconds. If he crits, he can finish a fight in a single SB2 in 30 seconds. He's such an insane dual use champion for Battlegrounds. Yeah, no regrets on taking this guy up as one of my first rank 3s. He's put in so much work for me. Everyone in Celestial has a rank 3 Sasquatch. He's just insane. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, I'd massively appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.